Well, good morning everybody. It's 5:21, the 1st of November 2021, and it's raining, so I won't be going for a walk this morning. And here we are, what have we got? Day 590 of the 14 days to flatten the curve. Yeah, I was looking forward to going for a walk. I always get up at about 4:30, have coffee, do a couple of jobs I've got to do on the computer, and have another coffee. This is coffee number 2. So anyway, yes, I can't go for a walk this morning. It's raining. It's only raining very lightly, misty rain. Yeah, I don't want to go and get wet. So I was quite surprised, as I only saw last night, being here in the Philippines, being Halloween. I know they don't, not as crazy as the Americans about Halloween, but they're getting crazy like that in Australia. My sister had a big Halloween party, and that was great fun. We all got dressed up. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I think I went to that. I thought there'd be more people, like kids, doing the trick-or-treating. There's one group came around. One. And that was just as I was going to bed. I was just packing up here. Just about to stand up and turn off the light and go to bed. And trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat. And by the time I heard them, got to the gate, they were gone. Go figure. Anyway, I see that Australia has opened up for international travel again, for fully vaccinated passengers, of course. I've had both shots. The only reason I got the shots is A, I will have to travel back to Australia at some point, and B, it was offered to senior citizens, and being as I turned 60 while I was here, I'm a senior citizen. So yeah, I noticed that they've opened up for international travellers. The airline that I've got my ticket on hold with is still not flying to Sydney as yet, or anywhere in Australia. I'd even catch a flight to Brisbane if I could, if it came to that. But I do know that the ticket that I've got on hold won't cover the cost of the new airfares. It'll probably be a third, because airfares will jump, of course. The airlines want to make up lost money. They have to, it's a business. And I certainly was not going to be a part of a 14-day quarantine in a hotel, even though I can get an exemption, because my flight was cancelled numerous times. Not going down that road. Fuck that. Now they're saying you can quarantine at home. Well, there's another problem. I don't have a home in Australia. There's nowhere I can quarantine on my own. So I'm just going to stay here for the time being, until all this bullshit's over and done with. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the whole virus thing is bullshit. I don't know. I personally have not met anybody who has caught COVID. I've heard of people that we know, oh, they've got COVID. 2 doors up. Apparently. Young fellow got COVID from his workplace, and he was in quarantine in Manila, not here. They just quarantined the whole factory. Did he have it? Don't know. Haven't heard a word since. That was about 6-8 weeks ago. Is he alive? Is he dead? Has he moved? Has he emigrated? Don't know. But all this bullshit that the governments are doing, lockdowns, and I'm not just talking about any one government, they're all the same. The UK, America, Philippines, Australia, they're all the same. Lockdowns, bloody restrictions. I don't know. And why can't we just, I don't mind wearing a mask, just wear a mask. Go about our everyday life. Stick the face shields up your ass. They're a pain. They are a pain. Especially in the wind. You're forever chasing a bloody face shield down the street. But anyway, it's quite annoying, I think the main thing that annoys me is, whilst I've been here, because I arrived here on March the 10th, and we went to a resort for Mercy's. I came here for 12 days, Mercy's 50th birthday. I was working in Australia, and I came back here for 12 days, March the 10th, 2020, and March the 15th, the government here announced that the country's going into lockdown. Couldn't have got a flight out if I tried. No chance. No chance. And it's getting heavy, the rain. Yeah, couldn't get a flight out if I tried. So, I'm still on my 12-day holiday, 590 days later. I had to give up the flat because I couldn't pay the rent because I wasn't working. So I don't have a home in Australia. But that's all by the by. That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. But what really annoys me is the fact that my mother died while I was here, and I was one of the executors of the will of the estate, and I couldn't do anything. I was here, so that all got lumped onto my sister, and I feel sorry for her, and I apologise, sis, but there was nothing I could do. I couldn't get out of here. Interestingly enough, when I first moved to the Philippines, it was in 2016 I first moved here, 2017, my father died. Now I could have got back to Australia at the time, but I wasn't an executive of this estate. My sister wasn't. She was going to the funeral, and she said, don't bother coming, it's all right. And we had a relationship, my father-in-law. He basically abandoned me when I was 16, on my own, in a flat, holding all his debts. No love lost there. But my mother, even though she could be a bit strong-headed and so forth, and didn't agree with a lot of things I did, I would have liked to have said goodbye properly. And she had an iPad, and not all the time, but occasionally she would work out how to do a FaceTime call or a messenger chat or something. Most times she'd message her, hey mum, you awake, or you're there, or nothing. Yeah, but anyway, that's my one regret, is that I was stuck here because of these bloody bureaucratic decisions. But what can you do? You have to do what the government says. At least now, things are starting to open up. It's never, I think the worst it got was early last year when they had lockdowns. I couldn't leave this street, just backwards. I used to go for my morning walk. this section of the street here is probably 300 metres long, and I would just walk backwards and forwards about 30 times. That was my morning walk. Then when they made it so that you could move from zone to zone, I would go around the block, and that's that's 0.9 of a kilometre. I think they measured that, and I'd do that a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. Now we can move within the provinces. There are still some holdout barangays and whatnot, insisting that you have to show your vaccination cards before you can enter their barangay. You just don't go there. Thankfully, we're in Cavite, the province Cavite. You can move around anywhere in Cavite, no problem. And it's one of the bigger provinces on this island. Could be the biggest, I don't know. So this week we've got to go to Merck's birthday, because he missed his last couple of birthdays. Last year he was stuck on a ship because of lockdowns. He was working and he was stuck on the boat. They wouldn't dock, weren't allowed to dock. So he missed celebrating his birthday with his family and whatnot. We're going there on Wednesday. And Sunday we're going to, I think it's Mercy's nephew's baby girl's birthday. I can't remember how old she is. 1, 2, I'm not sure. We're going to a resort, not far from here, just a little further south of here. Got to hire a van, go there for the day. And that's what I've missed, being able to go out to a resort, because all the resorts were closed. The beaches were closed. Couldn't go anywhere. Anyway, I'll be right back, because I need more coffee. I have to go and make myself some coffee up there. So don't go away, I'll be right back. I'm back. It's a grey old day out there today. Very wet and rainy. Streets starting to come to life. People leaving for work. Not as many joggers or walkers this morning. I wonder why. Yeah, so I'm not sure when I'll get back to Australia. My plan is to stick it out. I can be here on a tourist visa, which is what I'm on at the moment, for 36 months before I have to leave the country. And I only have to leave for 24 hours. Then I can fly back and get another 36 months. But what I want to do is apply for married to a Filipino or Filipino visa, which means it's good. The first one is a probationary. It's good for 12 months. Don't have to keep trekking to Robinson, to the immigration office at Pala Pala, every 2 months. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but it works out cheaper in the long run, because you haven't got the commuting fees, where you either catch a jeepney, or you can get a grab car. We do have lunch while we're there, so there's all those associated expenses that go with it, going to get the visa. It's technically only an 8-minute journey. If you go early enough, it's an 8-minute journey. go any. Luckily, the immigration office or the shopping centre, the mall, opens at 10. Last time we got there, it's always opened at 10. Always. Last time we got there, it was about 10 to 10. And we went to the side door where we always go in, and big line of people milling about, doors are shut. Okay, let's go on in. Nobody seemed to know what was going on. Mercy asked a few people, what time did it open? 10 o'clock? Oh, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, came and went. Didn't open. Cut a long story short, it opened at 11. Now, that's not really a problem. The immigration office is open from 10 until, the hours of operation are 10 until 2. I think there's still people there after 2, I don't know, never been there that late. But they won't process your visa that day. So if you get there early, you can pay an extra 500 pesos for the express lane. I haven't quite worked out how they do it yet. It's an interesting. There's 3 windows. 2 that you actually go to. You go to when you fill out your form, you give it to the guard, he takes it inside, and they call your name. He's holding up the receipt. Right. He tells you, this is how much you've got to pay. Go in there to window 1. Okay? So you go into window 1. You pay the money. And she passes your passport and everything, the receipt, the paid receipt, to the lady in window 2. You go back outside and wait. And I don't know if it ever gets to window 3. I'm not sure. But eventually, after 10, 20 minutes, the guard will come out with a pile of passports, call out your name, you sign, gives it to you. He says, you're good until, he points to the date. You've got to come back that day, it's due. Yeah, okay, I know the drill. But when you go there, you can have it done, you've got a choice. You can have it done normal priority, which means come back, pick up your visa next day, or express lane. And it's 500 pesos extra for express lane. And on the receipt they charge you twice. So they're charging you 500 pesos for window 1 and 500 pesos for window 2? I don't know. Or is it 500 pesos for the processing of the visa? And what's the other thing they do? A background check. They check to make sure that you're not wanted for anything by the Philippine government or the police, or there's not a warrant out for your arrest in Australia somewhere. Is it 500 pesos for that? So there's an extra 1,000 pesos. I know that's not much. It's like $35. Big deal. But they're good there. I have to give them praise. It's a good little office. It's tiny. It's probably the size of this room. And their filing system, it amazes me. They've got files stacked up in boxes, obviously waiting to be shipped to head office in Manila or wherever they go. And when you go in to pay to window 1, you sort of got to make your way around all the boxes with files, and stacked up on desks. And, there's one desk that a lady sits at in the main part where you walk in. That's got files stacked on it. stacked in front of it, stacked in front of the windows, right up to the bottom of the window level where you go and pay. So you've got to reach over them. But they're very efficient. They get the job done. Things work different here than in Australia. In Australia, you'd have all sorts of rules and regulations. You can't leave those boxes lying around. That's a trip hazard. Somebody will sue you. Don't worry about that here. Which is good to my way of thinking. So anyway, back to the story. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, I think I'll be here until at least March, just before March 2023. Coming up this March coming, it'll be 24 months that I've been here. I'm not knocking. I'm in no hurry to go back to Australia. I look at what all those dickheads are doing in the government there. Yeah, they've got our prime marketer, Mr. Morrison. He's just in it for the quids. They're all in it for the quids. What am I saying? I've never been one to be interested in politics. More so now. The only thing that interests me about the politics at the moment is the effect it's having on all of us. Yes, so I'm seriously thinking about getting the married to a Filipino visa. Then I don't have to worry about travelling to Pala all the time, every 2 months, to get my visa renewed. I'll be right. And then after the 12 months, you apply for a permanent residency visa married to a Filipino. I think that's what they call it. They've got so many visas on you look at their immigration site on the interwebs, and there's so many visas. There's married to a permanent residency visa, married to a Filipino if you're a Chinese citizen, and there's permanent residency visa if you're married to a Filipino for everybody else. There's all these different visas you can get. Given the fact that I don't have work as such, I do a bit of work helping Mercy out, but I don't get paid. She gets paid for that. Given the fact that I don't have work, and I can't work here on a tourist visa because that's against the law, and we don't want to be breaking the law. I think that would be my best bet. It just means I can fly in and out of the country, come back. I've got my permanent residency visa. Don't have to worry about applying for a visa when I come back. Because I do want to go back to Australia and see my sister and my brother-in-law Steve. My niece and nephew. They both got new babies. I haven't seen them. They're in Queensland, not far from Brisbane, I think. Not sure. I know my sister's. She's talking about at one stage. My brother-in-law wants to retire. He's a year older than me. And last I heard when I was talking to him, they want to move up to Queensland. Good on them. The weather's better up there. Better than bloody Sydney. Sydney's a beautiful city, don't get me wrong. Nice to look at. Didn't want to live there. I lived 900 kilometres north of Sydney for the last 28 years of my life before I came here. Nice place to visit, Don't want to live there. I missed a call from my sister last night on Messenger. I did send her a message back. I tried to call her back, but she didn't answer. I know it was, by the time I saw the missed call and message back, Australia is 3 hours ahead because they've got dopey saving time. So they're an extra hour ahead, so they're 3 hours ahead of us here. I tried to call her back. So if you do see this, sis, I did try to call you. And we've got to catch up again. Just send me a message in Messenger. Just say, oh, I'm here. Just a text message. I hear the ding for that. For some reason, I was sitting here at the table, where I'm sitting now. My phone was on the table, and what were we doing? I was just talking to Mercy. She was sitting there, and it didn't ring. So I don't know what was going on. So just send me a chat, because it'll ding, because the fucking phone will ding, but it won't ring. Weird. I don't know. Yeah, I want to catch up with my sis. See how they're going. Over there in Australia. Oh, raining again. It eased off about 10 minutes ago. Now it's raining again. I don't know whether you can hear it. This microphone may not pick it up. It's good at picking up a lot of external noises. Yeah, so I'll be like a caged lion today because I haven't been able to go for a walk. Usually go for a walk every morning. Usually 3.5 to 4 kilometres every morning, and a fast walk. Mercy doesn't come with me because she can't run fast enough to keep up, she says. And every one of my steps is 3 of hers. Yeah, I'll be like a caged lion. I'll be pacing backwards and forwards here. If the rain lets up and it doesn't get too hot, I'll go for a walk. I don't go for a walk after sunrise, basically. It just gets too hot, sweaty. But I might go for if it lets off, I'll go for I'll go for a stroll. Not so much a walk, power walk. It gets too hot and sweaty. I'll just go for a stroll. Might even bring you guys with me. Do a video. Go down to the market, have a look around. Don't want to sit here all day. I met another kana the other day. He's not actually American. I'm not quite sure what. He says he's British, but he left. Him and his family, his parents, left England when he was 5. He's been here in the Philippines since '83. He speaks the language really well. And you may well ask, how's my learning Tagalog going? Okay. Not bad. My biggest problem is I'm going deaf. I need to get hearing aids or something, because I don't hear what people are saying. Many times I'm walking down the street and somebody will be walking towards me and I'll just be walking on. Next thing, as they're going past, they say, "Good morning." I don't know whether they'd said it before and I didn't hear them. Yeah, I just don't hear them. Or we'll be walking down the street with Mercy and she'll say, "Did you hear that?" They said, "Hey Joe," to you. No, I didn't hear that. Yeah. The hearing is becoming a problem. When Mercy's sitting in that chair, sometimes I can't hear her when she speaks to me. And that's, what, 5 feet away? So yeah, it's becoming a problem. I have to do something about it. The good thing about having this phone is there are certain brands of headphones, not these ones. These were like $2 or some stupid price, you know. Yeah, about 85 pesos each. No, I'm wrong. It was 170 pesos for 2 pairs. But anyway, I mainly just use them to listen to audiobooks and whatnot, and listen to YouTube videos because I can't hear what's coming out of the speakers on the phone or the computer without them. So, but there are certain headphones available that will tie in to the iOS ecosystem and act as hearing aids. Considering that most hearing aids, good ones, start at about 4,000 or 5,000 Australian dollars, I'm not going down that track. A, I don't have the money for that, and B, I don't have the money for that. But if I can get a $100 pair of headphones, and they work, I've been reading the reviews on them, and there are some that they say that they work as well as expected. Others where they say, these cheaper ones, they work good for a while, but then not as well as expected. So I'm going to investigate that further, because I've got to do something about my hearing, because I just don't hear. Trying to learn a different language, and the best way to learn is to have conversations, and I can't bloody hear. That does have its blessings sometimes, because it gets noisy here on the main road. Cars and trikes, jeepneys. Jeepneys are noisy. I'll be back in a minute. I've got to go and check the leak in the roof, in the bedroom, in the ceiling. Stick a bucket underneath it. I just realised that it's raining. It's not heavy, but it's consistent. So it'll be leaking in the bedroom. So I'll be back. I'm back. Disaster averted. There was 1 drop hanging from the ceiling, 1 drop of water, and 2 drops on the floor. So luckily I remembered. How the hell did I remember? I thought I had Alzheimer's. But anyway. Or was it just seniors? I thought, I'm a senior. Of course. So it's disaster averted. What was I saying? I was talking about the other kana, and he speaks really good Tagalog, but then he's been here since '83. Basically grew up in the Philippines. And interestingly, when he first came here, he lived in Las Piñas, which is where Mercy's from, and then they moved to Bulacan, which is where we are now. His mother's buried in the cemetery just south of Bulacan. We've walked through it. I think there's one of my videos. We go through the cemetery when Mercy's looking for a long lost relative. His name's Roy, and he says, I'm going to introduce you to there's a young fella here, an American I think. He lives around behind the high school. I have seen him. And Roy says, he's seen you too. I says, he looked like he was busy. He was on a mission, So I didn't speak to him. He said, oh, he didn't speak to you because he thought you looked like you're on a mission. I would have been walking. That's the only time I'm out and about on my own. Unless I go to the market for Mercy when she's working. Yeah, so we were going to go and visit him yesterday. Then Mercy said, oh, we just can't rock up, you know. It's okay. Even though he said, just rock up any time. But I guess when people say, just rock up any time, they mean, don't rock up any time, call ahead. But he seemed like a nice bloke. He does a Santa Claus gig at the SM malls, or different malls, but mainly SM. Because I like to have big, tall foreigners for Santa Claus. Go figure. So anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. We'll leave it there. Let you good people get back to your lives. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. And I'll catch you all next time. So, hooroo. Be good to everybody. Be safe. Be healthy. And have a great day. See you next time. Bye.